This is going to be a journey into what actually VS diamonds are. All right, I'm at Safari's house. I'm bringing him his chains. He wanted the VS. He's a friend of mine. I'm not going to let him down. But in making this happen for him, I had to explain exactly what these diamonds are and what they do. And I'm going to have to explain that to everybody else because there's a lot of people, they want VS, they think they have VS. The jeweler said this, the customer said that, a lot of confusion. And we're going to get to it. We're going to talk about what is a VS diamond, how to buy a VS diamond, how to get a good price on a VS diamond, how to be a good customer for a VS diamond, and how to be a good jeweler for a VS diamond. Because if you don't have all those things in place, you're not going to have VS. So we're going to start that journey. The first thing we're going to talk about is the sun. Now, the first thing you want to know about VS diamonds is the refraction of light. Light travels at 186,000 miles per second. It could travel around the world from going from there to there 7.5 times in 1 second, right? Now imagine light entering this diamond. It doesn't just enter the diamond, it comes out. Because of the facets on the diamond, it bounces around like crazy at 186,000 miles per second. Of course, within a diamond, it slows down a little bit, actually slows down to half its speed. Nonetheless, that's a lot of refraction when you're bouncing around, okay? However, if you have a brick wall inside your diamond or a piece of carbon or something like that, you have no light refraction. The light, instead of passing through, zipping around and blasting out, hits a piece of carbon, turns into infrared radiation. You can't see it, and you lose it.
So what would it look like?
What would it look? It wouldn't look like anything. It would look, you would see flashes of it at certain angles as, you know, in certain circumstances, certain angles, it will go around the flaw and it'll still come out. And that's why you see some bad diamonds with some flash and they hit a little bit. But for VS, light comes in from any angle and it might bounce around in there an unknown crazy amount of times before it flashes out. You never know, it's a gamble. That's why you see huge flashes, large flashes, small flashes. That's what VS is, that's why you want it. And you can't have flaws to have it. So now we're gonna talk about the value of VS and why it's expensive and how to even get around the jeweler. Let's say you forget the jeweler. You don't want the jeweler taking your money for VS. You don't want. Let's see if we could get around the jeweler and get VS for the low without even having a jeweler involved. So let's say you want the VS stones, you want the light refraction, but you don't want to give your money to a jeweler. Someone's gonna lie to you, then he's not gonna give you the VS stones, then you gotta figure out what you're getting, right? Then he's gonna be putting money in their pocket. This is an expensive transaction. Now luckily Safari, trust me, to make this happen. But who do you want to trust? He doesn't want to trust anybody. You don't want to be in a position to trust somebody. Let's get around the jeweler. Let's get the stones on our own and avoid this nonsense. Well, these stones right here, they're from 30 points in the front going to 26 in the back. And that range is important, and I'll tell you why in a second, right? And they are VS1, E color, F color. Let's say you want to get these stones without having to go through a jeweler that's putting money in his pocket, right? What do you do in that? Well, let's say, you know what, fuck the jeweler, I'm gonna go mine the stones myself. Well, for every 1,000 carats you mine, right, about 1 carat's gonna look like that. Some stones are gonna be E color, you're gonna be great. Some stones are gonna be VS, they're gonna be great. But they're not gonna be VS and E color at the same time for you. And then even if some of those carats are matching in the color and clarity, the carat's going to be too small. They're going to be 10 pointers, or they're going to be this, they're going to be that. It's impossible. You have to mine thousands and thousands and thousands of carats from Canada, from Australia, from Russia, from Africa. You take all of these carats and then you have to cut and polish them in India, right? You have to cut and polish them in India and then sort them all out to get the matching stones to make this chain happen. How are you gonna do that yourself? You're gonna take a flight, do a little digging in Australia, then do a little digging over there, try to find all the carats and all the sizes and all the stones and come back? It's impossible to do. That's why you need a jeweler. All right, so now you realize you're stuck with a jeweler. The stones are polished in India. Now, I buy thousands and thousands of carats. I was able to pick up the phone to my polishers and I was able to say, hey, I'm doing a video at my friend's house. I gotta make sure I have the right stones. I gotta make sure I could explain to people what's true VS so they know once and for all. And they arranged all of these stones for me. okay?
This guy is passionate.
Yeah, your jeweler, I mean, I'm passionate because people think that they're gonna do this and get that, and they got this fucking bubblegum world that they live in. It's not gonna happen. It has to have somebody pick up the phone and arrange these stones, because even when the stones came in, I had to take some that I didn't like out. I had to double check everything. I sorted all the diamonds. I did all that. There's no way to get around the jeweler, okay? That's the problem. It's a problem because I've been buying jewelry for a long time. I spent $100 million on jewelry for over 17 years, and I'm spending about $3 million a month on it now. I don't want to get ripped off on my jewelry. I don't want to get ripped off on my diamonds. And I've dealt with a lot of shit. And now I'm trying to explain to you that, sadly, you know, I got to the polishers, I got everything under control, but it's very difficult to get through this system. So you need somebody who's able to get the right stones for the right price. And that's just part one. And then you need to be able to trust that person not to rip you off. And that's going to be the next part, which is the jeweler, okay? So now you know you got to deal with the jeweler. Let's talk about the jeweler. Let's see what it takes to make it happen with him. So now you realize you need a jeweler, okay? You're not getting to the diamond dealers. When I was a young dude and I was starting out in the game and I needed to, they don't even look at you. They're not sitting here trying to sell you 10 carats or 1 carat or something like this, even 67 carats. You could try to get there, and if that's what you're thinking, and they're gonna take your arms and legs off. It took me a long time to become a whale, to be able to buy diamonds by the boatload. So when I make a phone call, they know there's a customer that's gonna be spending millions of dollars every year for the next 50 years. And they're gonna make sure I get what I need, right? Now, in your situation, in your case, you have to trust somebody. You have to trust a jeweler, right? And that's a problem because there's a, you know, if you want to know the outcome, look at the incentive. And the incentive for a jeweler right now is to lie to you, to give you an SI, an SI2, say it's VS. Why is that the incentive, right? Well, obviously they make more money, but then, you know, the reason being is that the consumer believes it or doesn't understand it and buys, and could go next door and they'll end up spending the money with somebody who tells them it's VS. They just want to hear the word VS, right? Now, we have VS diamonds, we have SI diamonds that are everyone else's VS diamonds. We have mixed parcels, a SI1 to a VS2, which are some of my favorite because you get to pay a hybrid of the price and the stones hit and it's a beautiful thing. But if you want true VS, you have to deal with somebody you can trust that when you're going to give them the top dollar, because to have VS, the VS diamonds are twice the price of SI, usually, right? They're twice the price of SI. And who's to say that when they're going to give you this on these types of stones, you're not getting this or you're getting that or so on and so forth, when they just could make twice the money or something of the sort. And that's a tough position. And you got to realize that, you know, I'm not the only trustworthy jeweler in the world. I don't know too many, right? Most of the ones I know, they'll get you the VS, but they'll charge you, or someone will tell you this or tell you that, whatever it is. It's a lot of shortcuts cut around. But if you find somebody, I don't want to say, hey, trust me, trust me. If you find somebody you work with, you trust them and you make sure that they're going to give you the VS stones, especially for pointers, like what he has over there. But remember, if you're not coming with the VS money, then don't start asking for VS. And if you're the type of client, right, that goes next door and just wants to hear the word VS so somebody could tell you it's VS, then don't do business with me whatsoever. I want to get you what you need. I want to get it at the right price. I want to do it honestly. Now, for my friend, I do some special deals, but I want to charge an honest margin, which is very small, that you can't do better than that. So that's that. Now we talked about the jeweler. You're looking for somebody you could trust, which is practically nobody. That's too bad for you. But if you know somebody and you trust them, then good luck with that. Now, the second thing is going to be the client, which is you, which is what you really need to be worried about. Got my sapphire chain on right here, the red one and the multicolored one. I love these chains. I mean, you could tell how they add little color. And now you could always do, we're going to be making a red diamond, white diamond, red diamond, white diamond. We did the one for Majesty, which is pink sapphire, red sapphire, white diamond, and we do pink sapphire, white diamond as well. Sapphire chains are amazing things that you could wear. They're a bargain. A chain like this and the proper diamonds in this size would be, you know, $40,000, something around there. And the sapphires is under 10. All right, still a precious gem with color and whatever it is. That's, you know, when you get the diamonds, it's a look. If anybody wants to buy this chain, I'm tired of wearing this chain's too heavy for me. It's 5 ounces of pure gold. There's a lot of labor. It's my personal chain, but I can't wear this anymore. I got to switch it up for a sapphire chain to put my piece on. If this shit is weighing me down, my neck is always like, you gotta put this on a stronger dude. I mean, it definitely made my neck muscle stronger and everything else, but it's kind of always weighing me down, huh? 22 karat gold. It has 5 ounces of pure in it. It obviously weighs more than 5 ounces because it's 22 karat, which is 90+% pure gold. It's an investment chain. I made it pre-pandemic when the price was obviously lower. And now I know if I hold on to it, I'll be able to make money on it. But that's not an issue for me. I could gold buy and sell every day. And if ever anybody wants it, you can rock with it. And if you want the sapphire stuff and the diamond chains, I'm waiting for Safari right now to pop out so we can finish doing the diamond video to explain what VS is. I don't think there's anybody out there that's going to be as reliable as us on diamond chains, sapphire chains, or anything like that. You'd be dealing with a bunch of jerks. And, you know, I don't like to be the guy that says you could trust me. I like for people to figure that out on their own. But for some people who can't figure it out, be careful when you spend your money, right? And you think you're getting a better deal or someone duped you. I've seen a lot of dumb people over there. But the good news is I don't want those customers. You know, if you get duped, you know, and you feel like you got, listen, you could have a chain made out of glass, but if you feel and you really believe that it's a VS and you walk around and you could believe that, then it is a VS chain. It doesn't matter what it's made out of, right? But if you're a person who seeks the truth, like me, well then, you know, you got to be careful who you're doing business with. So that's that. So we talked about the carbon crystal, the diamond, the natural forces at play, why they're rare, how sadly you can't get around the jeweler, and how you have to work with somebody you can trust and you can do business with, and how the economics are not incentivized for you to get VS at the right price. You know, and that's tough. That's a tough situation to be in. But now we're going to talk about the client. You know, the reason why I do business for Safari, and I made sure he got the right chains and do the personal service and fly down here and hang out with him and his family and do all these things. Hey, is because he saw the value in me as a jeweler, right, when I was still building my business. And I'm the type of person that appreciates that and respects that. Not a lot of people do. And I want to make sure that because he took the time to value me, that he gets the best diamonds at a business deal that it's not even about price, right? It's about me making sure that there's value in the item. Now, the reason why he gets that is because he's the right person, the right client. And you have to be the right client. I don't want the wrong client. I don't want to sit here and figure out somebody's problems and do all this other stuff. You have to be the right person, because the best things in life are reserved for the best people. Right, Maji? The best things in life are reserved for the best people.
I don't care what you're doing right now.
She doesn't care at all. But what you want, if you want VS diamonds, you're asking for the best things in life, it sickens people, because you know, even to pay that price and not get what you're paying for. It really does. But you're doing business with the wrong people, and you're doing business with the wrong people because you're the wrong person. Now, I'm not, you know, I'm going to mention a name, Rich the Kid. Rich the Kid stopped by the shop, right? He stopped by the shop, and, you know, I was always talking about how he was a trendsetter with the watches, and Patek Philippe, and so on and so forth. He stopped by the shop not to buy anything. He wanted to service a piece of jewelry. But, you know, he did it for a reason. I imagine that reason is because he's watching some of the videos and he's absorbing some of the knowledge, and he appreciates it. Right? He's starting to see where he is. When you spend $1 million on jewelry or vast amounts of money on jewelry, and then you feel cheated or this or that or here or there, and I'm not talking about Rich the Kid because I appreciate him, so he did me a favor stopping by. A lot of these other guys, they hear other guys rap about this, then they go over there and they throw their money and this and that. And then years later, they wake up in the middle of the night, they see true VS, and then they're thinking, oh shit,
Maji,
I got this, how much did he give me that, Trax this, and they start thinking about me and start thinking about honesty and the truth.
Maji.
And then you put your money out. you know, it's millions of
Margie.
dollars. And
Margie.
and if you don't get what you want
Margie.
for millions of dollars, you're in
Margie.
trouble. And you got to be the right person. You got to do business with the right people.
Margie.
And you want to. Your end result should be this ring of fire around your neck for a price that is fair. And you have the ingredients to make that happen. You're not going to dig up the stones yourself. You're not going to be able to do business with the people I'm business with and get the price and then make this happen. You have to find somebody you trust to make that happen. Now, me personally, I like to make a margin on pieces that we make and put in the store, but it's a fair margin. I like to buy my buying power, collectivize your buying power, my buying power, and get the right price for the product and make something that's gonna hit and tell you honestly what it is, right? And if you don't like it or if you feel a certain way, I like to make sure my customers are happy. But I also like to make sure I have the right type of customer. I don't want that headache. I've dealt with bums that have SI money and I want VS, make sure it's this. Then come up with that VS money, my brother. Come up with that VS money, or go somewhere where they tell you it's VS and jerk you, and then you wake up in the middle of the night and your stones aren't hitting, or they're hitting from this angle but not hitting from that angle, or there's one stone hitting over and over.
Don't wake up in the middle of the night.
Don't get stepped on like roaches out there, okay? Make your moves correct and you'll be fine. And this is really the game. The best things in life is the sapphires, obviously, but the best things in life are reserved for the best people. If you want them, you know what you have to do to get them. So if you want your castings to sway in the wind like this, right? Smooth, clean. And you want your diamonds to refract the light, flash yellow, then orange, then red, then blue, then green, then this, then that. Then you have to have VS. And to have VS, you have to be the right person in the right place for the right price, not to get duped. It's tough. It's tough. But, you know, some of you guys out there, you gotta, you hit a brick wall, kind of like the photons do when they pass through your SI quality stones. You hit a brick wall in life, right? Because you believe in the wrong people and the wrong things. You know, you see the jeweler and he's the and this is the best, and then they go and then they get and it's supposed to be, you know, VS and the this and the that, and I'm sitting there and I'm watching there and I get angry. I get angry not because you're not spending the money with me and I'm some jerk or something like that, but because you're selling yourself short, right? You're selling yourself short and you think you're doing yourself a favor. You're doing business and you're getting duped, and then it's okay, you got duped. I've been in that situation 1,000 times with these jerk-offs in the Diamond District, digging in my pockets for a very long time until I got my ducks in a row. But you sit there, and some of you motherfuckers, you sit there with a pen and pad and watch my videos, but you don't show me any love. And that pisses me the fuck off. And then you go, and that's okay too. You go there and you heard the raps and you this and that, and you go and you shop, and then you don't show me no love, and you sit with a pen and pad. It's all good. But then you walk out the door and you spend more money and you get less product, and then you lie to yourself. And that's where I get fucking pissed. Lie to me. Lie to anybody you want. Don't fucking lie to yourself. That's a big mistake. That's a mistake that's gonna come out, right? Better, but in the end, you know, better a diamond with a flaw than a pebble without. But even better is a diamond without a flaw. And that's my gem for the day.